pandemic, quarantine, global crisis, panic buying. It's not because of a virus. It's all a symptom of one thing: fear. And we need to overcome it before it's too late. Welcome back, everyone, to An Ordinary Search for Truth. My name is Nate, and today we will be talking about a very current event that is affecting most of us, I'm sure, the coronavirus or COVID-19. There's a lot of fear surrounding the spread of COVID-19. We see it on the news, social media, in the community, online, everywhere. Fear is a symptom of a misunderstanding or a misidentification of what we are. Firstly, we believe that we have distinct individual existence and that we are fragile, biological, physical bodies and minds, and that we share its mortality. If it gets sick, we get sick. If it suffers, we suffer. If it dies, we die. As a result of this assumption that we've made, many people adopt religious or spiritual views about an eternal soul or a spirit that resides in this physical vessel. No one really knows this for sure. It's just a belief. And I would go as far as to say many people that say they believe it really don't. Not really. Even believers fear death and the unknowns associated with it. Even believers have intense sorrow when a family member or a friend passes away. Even believers join in the frantic desperation for self-preservation that has become very obvious in past weeks. There's so much fear in the world, and not just about a virus, but about anything that threatens this assumed mortality that we believe we share with this body-mind vehicle. We blame so many things for our problems, for our suffering, for disease and poverty. We blame the government, we blame the environment, we blame other people, we blame other countries, we blame greed, we blame evil. But these things aren't really the source of our problems. The source is misidentification. We've identified with a belief that our self is this body-mind vehicle and that this vehicle will end, and thus eventually we will end. Every problem that exists today for mankind boils down to this fundamentally. Every single one. Our misidentification of self creates a intense existential fear, and this fear is largely subconscious or unconscious for most of us. We don't even know how afraid we really are. But this fear is the foundation of all of our insecurities, all of our defensiveness, our anger, our selfishness, our desperation, our jealousy, etc., etc. Now, with this coronavirus spreading throughout the world, which is directly challenging our health, our mortality, this fear that's typically unconscious and subconscious, which exhibits itself in various ways, comes a lot closer to the surface for us. And we see our self-preservation and the need to survive at all costs. We see these things being exhibited in society. Few are using this time to ask the really important questions, such as, why do I fear death? That's really what this panic's all about. We fear death, and coronavirus is a symbol for death in a lot of our minds. This causes us to panic, to fear, to have anxiety. We're not asking the questions that we need to be asking. Why do we have to live above anyone else? Why do you have to live above anyone else? Why, if you know you're going to die eventually, why do you fear it happening now as opposed to a few years down the road? Why does that matter? People die all the time, every day. Why is it so important that you and I are not one of them? What's the point of living? What's the point of life? Why do we exist? If life is just this roller coaster of searching for comfort and happiness and peace that always seems to evade us, that we only get glimpses of occasionally, and trying to run away from suffering and pain and loss and hurt that always seems to find us, then what's the point? Why are we doing this? Instead of self-reflection like this and honestly seeking answers, we we go on autopilot and we watch the news and we gossip and we look at social media and we feel the hysteria. We panic buy, we stock up on supplies we think we need to survive the apocalypse, but we're not asking why. Well, I'll tell you why. You're afraid of death. You want to go on forever somehow, but you haven't done the self-inquiry and the meaningful questioning and investigation that it takes to realize that you don't share this body-mind's mortality. You weren't born, you won't die. You are reality itself, which has been right here, right now, doing exactly what it's doing, which is being, and it has been doing this eternally, and it will continue doing it. That's what you are. But you don't know that yet. You don't even really believe that yet. It seems too crazy to be true, impossible. But until you take the time, and we have plenty of it right now, at least I do in quarantine, plenty of time to explore ourselves, to explore our experience of reality, and search for the peace and the understanding and the wisdom that comes with the realization of self. Until we do this, we're going to continue to buy into this fear-based society that demands survival over anything else, where we have to survive above anything or anyone else. People don't know that everything, including themselves, are God. You can't hurt God. God can't get sick. God can't die. God has nothing and no one to fear because God is all there is, and God is perfect. God is being what it is, and everything is that. Obviously, I'm not talking about the biblical or Christian sense of God as in the form of a deity or a formed being. No, I'm talking about that God which is synonymous with infinite reality, with pure existence, with universal awareness. That is God. Until we understand that we, as humans, as life itself, as that awareness, are God, and that God is one, then we're going to continue to be self-destructive and afraid and selfish and unhappy and suffering. You shouldn't fear the coronavirus. If you have to fear anything, you should fear what we are capable of when we allow fear to control our lives. That's the really scary thing. Or better yet, drop fear completely. Get rid of fear. Fear is a symptom of illusion. It's not real. Fear has no basis in reality. I'm asking you to love and serve one another as yourself. Because, in all honesty, everything is yourself. Everyone is yourself. We are one. If you think that you can survive or somehow get ahead of anything else in the universe, then you're sorely mistaken. Be kind. Be understanding. Be giving. But above all, figure out the truth of yourself. I will try to help some, but it's ultimately up to you. Together we can overcome fear, and we can rise up from this chaos and build a better world, be better people. That's my message for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely hit me a like if you enjoy what I'm doing here, and subscribe if you want to see future videos and be notified. Definitely leave a comment. I love hearing from you, and we need to stay connected through this time. Again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.